Alright, I think we're live. Welcome everyone to another Weekends with Karthik. How you all doing? Um, Hope you all had a good week. My parents just left yesterday, and I got a fresh a haircut in the morning. So yeah, this week for me has been more a recovery, like a weekend, where I'm just like cleaning stuff, and then catching up on sleep, uh, binge watching a bunch of stuff. So it's been one of those kind of weekend for me. So yeah, overall pretty solid, chill weekend. I do have a tiny bit of work to finish um, today, so I'm just going to do that. It's not a lot, but it's still quite a bit, and I'm just going to sort of play around and understand a new tool I'm using. So that's what this live stream is going to be about. It's probably not going to be too long one, but yeah, it's just going to be me building what's called a pitch deck. So a pitch deck is, as what you all might know, is basically a small presentation that you're doing about your company, which you're pitching either to an investor or some other partner. It could be literally anyone. So that like a that a sort of slide deck is what is called a pitch deck. That's the most common thing that an investor will ask you when you go to an investor asking for information about your company, right? So that's what is called a pitch deck. So I'm going to make that now. There are sometimes information in pitch deck can be confidential, but not always. Sometimes you can also have non-confidential information in pitch deck. So the way I approach is that I usually have two pitch decks. One that's basically the generic information about the company, very like high level, very like non-confidential stuff. And then once we are in more deeper talks, or when I'm doing a presentation in person to an investor, that's when I usually have a bit more sort of like of a confidential pitch deck, which have some sensitive information, like financials of the company and stuff like that, which I will only share with an investor who I either believe is not going to share it with other people, or who I believe that I really need to sort of show these numbers to like bring this investor on board. So that's sort of how I go about it. So I'm using this new tool for it actually. So that's the reason why I'm trying to figure this out. So this tool is called Pitch. It's pitch.com. It's been a tool that has been out there for a while. I've been hearing about it, but I've never really gotten to start working on it. I used to make my pitch decks in uh, um, in like keynotes. So your keynote is hands down my favorite app to make presentation. It's amazing. It's just great. The advantage of making it here though is I can so like share it with other people in my team. If I want someone else to add an input, I want someone else to be able to modify it before they present it to someone else. Then that the so all of those were considerations that I did not take into account before. Earlier, I was the only one making the pitch deck. I was the one who was pitching. I was the one who was making all the changes to it. So it worked pretty well if I just did it within of a keynote. But now that I do have other people in the company who are also going and making pitches, I thought I need to build something that's a bit more collaborative and open. So then the solution I ended up checking out is pitch.com. The other option would be to go with something like a Google Slide or a PowerPoint on the cloud or something like that. Even a keynote is available on the cloud, but yeah, like if somebody is not a Mac user, it's not the best experience for them on it. So Pitch is this new company that I really love their website. I think when they first came out, the website was the how do I go to see no. So this is basically the website. Pretty neat the way they have built it. So one thing I don't see a lot of is that in their first website they actually had a lot of these animation styles, which was really really nice. Now they have made it more focused on around the product itself. So yeah, so that's basically the software. I started on this pitch deck already. I want to check out what's template. This just caught my eyes because somebody actually asked me for a template. Uh, okay, so our template is just like a pre. Yeah, okay, that's what they're calling it. I thought a template is something I can create and then share with people in my team. But yeah, here it just seems like these are like stuff that other people have already made. So yeah, if you don't want to make a pitch deck from scratch, you can sort of just go and use an existing pitch deck and make a presentation about it. What's this a neat pitch deck? Cool. So this is my pitch deck. Right now, the only thing I'm focusing on is the structure of information in it, as in what content needs to be in there, and not really how to, represent it, right? So, pitch deck is essentially storytelling. So basically, it's going to end up in someone's inbox. They're going to open it, and you have like basically a few seconds to catch their eyes before they're going on to something else, or they're making a quick judgment that this is not interesting to them. So you don't have a lot of time. So I think that sort of is the catch with pitch deck, is sort of you cannot be very detailed. But the other side of it is that if you don't show any detail, they're like, okay, I don't understand the product, I don't understand what you're building, and you have the chance of losing them, right? And the more complex or niche your idea, the more often you have this problem of running into this problem where you cannot just explain a startup in like one word, right? Or in a sentence. That's what some people encourage, saying that just say that you're Airbnb of X, or you're the Uber of like Y, and just have these very simple to understand like taglines, so people just have to read a sentence and they immediately understand it, which is great for startups who are able to define themselves that way. But yeah, for a startup like Envision, it's very very difficult to just say it in a few words, right? So then what I have to do is I need to just make sure that I can engage them with a few words, so I can like hook them, enough so that they ask me the follow-ups, or they actually want to like read more to understand the more details of the pitch. So that's has been my goal. So this pitch deck I've just basically ripped off our previous pitch deck, which I used to raise the previous round, and I'm now tinkering around with it to make the flow of the new pitch deck, right? And you if you go online, you'll find a bunch of people talking about what the structure should be, what the content should be. I think a lot of people have spoken about it, but I think it's different for every startup. And I think what you if you're preparing a pitch deck, what you need to focus on is what's the best way to tell your story, right? A lot of people say, oh, first talk about the problem, then talk about the solution, then the evidence, and like they have like structures behind it. But I think the thing that should be paramount is that, hey, what helps you tell your story, right? What helps you explain this thing that you're building in the best way possible. And sometimes it might not fit the structure. It might be something that you have to lead with the solution, or you have to lead with the market first. You have to explain, hey, this is the market that you're working in, and then go into the problem. So don't like the guides they're useful, but just use them as a guide. Do not use the guides that you see online as a stencil. That's my advice. Figure out what is the best way to tell your story, because nobody understands your startup. You're better than you. So figure out what's the best way to tell the story, and focus on that as you make your pitch deck. Let me quickly run you through what I have, and then I'm going to start doing some work on improving it. So yeah, this is just the main screen, the company logo, tagline, deck. So that sort of is what you start with. I have the problem solution product structure. So I first start with the problem. I've done it in this way because sort of I explain what the scale of the problem is, and how are we trying to solve them. So usually I sort of try to highlight a few things. Is there a red line here that I'm seeing? Why do I see this red line? So I start with the problem, how big the problem is, and what we should do about it. And I go into how we are building a solution for it. So I say we have built a software platform that speaks out the visual information on a blind or visually impaired person. So I recently have been made aware that visually impaired person, blind person is not the right way to address this audience. So it should be speak out the visual information around people who are blind or have low vision. So that's the right way to address it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking how I should go from here because this doesn't really explain the product very well. So I'm thinking if there should be two more slides. So I don't like to make too many slides. I like to keep it succinct, like I said. Mm, let me just do it and then I will see. So if I have to make it a smartphone app, stop this. I have a call to attend, guys. Give me a second.